I wanted to share something with you, just something I've been thinking about. I had a great call this morning. Some of you may have seen the live that we did, Coach Kevin Wilson and myself, and we had a great conversation about life and professional athletes and how professional athletes deal with their mindset, their headspace, success, failure, etc. And I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. And it's interesting because last night I was talking with CC Sabathia, and he was sharing with me what it took him, what it took him to get out there every single game, and sort of the battles that he used to have within himself in order to go out there and compete at the highest level of sport. Most people don't realize that. They just think that athletes, it comes easy for them, and they're paid all this money and therefore they should just be great. But that really is not a fair way to look at it for the athlete, and it's not the best way to look at it either, because they deal with a lot of the same things, struggles that I deal with as well. So I want to talk to you though. I have a quote tonight from my book, again, Habits of a Champion, and it has to do with passion, and I think it's an important topic. So many of the emails I get and inquiries I get, for people looking for coaching, it's about passion. It's about, am I doing the right thing? Am I going down the right road? I'm trying to find my passion. And I always say this: your passion is already there. It's hardwired. It's already within you. So don't forget that. So don't look too hard, because you're traveling with it. And the best way to bring that passion about is to take action. Just take action. And you take action by asking yourself, what is it that I want to do? Even in this moment, what is it that I want to do? And when you get that right, you start walking towards that passion, right, Jay Baitler? You start moving yourself towards that. And so the quote is this: passion drives results, then results drive more passion. The power of momentum is critical in both sports and business. As a champion leader, it's your job to create the momentum through many victories. A roaring blaze can begin by igniting even a morsel of your passion. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling jammed up, if you lead a team and that team maybe right now is feeling frustrated, a little bit jammed up, a little bit of angst, they're not sure what's next, it's your job as the leader, and it's your job as the leader of yourself. Thanks, Elaine. To get yourself going. So just a little bit of action, right? And the action starts with, what am I feeling right now? What do I feel like I should be doing? What do I need to be doing? Just start walking towards that. And what's going to happen is this road is going to start to open up, right? So any blocks are going to start to disappear. If you may hit one, you kind of bounce off it and you start to redirect. And ultimately, you will activate that passion that sits within you. And that's something you have to remember. So people say start with why. I don't always believe that, because what if you don't know what your why is, but you have a feeling, and you can take that feeling and walk towards that feeling, and then that takes you to the next one. It's sort of this connected path that you're taking towards where it is that you're eventually supposed to go and supposed to be. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I've tried to over-navigate. I over-navigate, oversteer that ship. And all of a sudden I'm going towards something, that I thought was open water, and all of a sudden, bam, there's rocks everywhere. So I got to re-navigate my ship. But I was steering hard towards those rocks because I thought that that's where I was supposed to go. But it wasn't. And then I steer this way and navigate this way. And I'm just going through, just like this, right? Connected path. And I am moving towards, just like you're going to move towards what it is you're supposed to do. So whatever you have going on in your life right now, if you love it, awesome. But you should still be challenging yourself to be better. And if you don't love what's going on right now, start taking action, right? So those attempts, like Jay Baitler saying here, those attempts, right, that you're taking, they're gonna lead you towards things. There's gonna be some missteps there, but again, you're gonna get back on track. And I find that a lot of people, they live in a state of chronic frustration and angst because they're not taking the steps and they're just sort of staying still. They're staying static. And I say, get dynamic, start moving, make the mistakes. I would always tell those that I manage this, listen, even if you make mistakes, at least you got something to do. You can clean up those mistakes and they'll take you toward, you'll be in action, you'll be dynamic, you won't be static anymore. So don't be a statue in your life. Keep yourself moving towards whatever it is you're supposed to be moving towards now. And another place that people get in big trouble is they get so far ahead. And a lot of the programs that are out there now on personal development, personal growth, they talk so much about these goals. And it's amazing, you know, a couple months ago, actually in New York City, I was working with a client, very successful, multi-billionaires, created multiple companies. And I asked him, hey, what do you think of 5-year goals, 10-year goals? And he laughed. He says, I'm lucky if I have a goal for next week. And I thought that was really funny because what's the messaging that everybody's pushing today? Everybody's pushing goals, goals, goals. And exactly what Jay has written in our notes is, you know, always be willing to fail and fail fast, and it leads to eventual success. But if you're trying to get everything right on paper, and you're planning and you're planning and you're organizing and you're planning more and organizing, realize this: there's somebody that's not planning and not organizing and just taking crazy action, and they're going to blow right past you, and they probably already have. So it's something important for you to realize. You can't over navigate, you can't over plan, you can't overthink where it is that you're going to go and what this perfect business is going to look like, because chances are once you start it, or once you start along that career path, it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to look the way you think that it's going to look. So just take action, right? And here's another thing, because I know we have people all over, you know, all different lines of work and all different ages. If you're on the younger side of things, here's what I say too: don't worry about how much you're going to get paid right now. Do the work, get your hands dirty, get gritty, learn, challenge yourself, and you'll see year over year your finances are going to actually start to improve as a result of the work that you're doing. But you got to work. You can't sit still, and you can't ever look for the easy road or the easy way. That doesn't work, and it doesn't exist. So you got to remember that, and it's a super important thing to remember. I know myself in my own personal journey, you know, I went to college at the University of South Florida down in Tampa, and I can remember in my apartment complex, I was sharing an apartment with 3 other guys, and we each had our own room. And I remember seeing this silver BMW that was in the parking lot. And at the time, I said to myself, I said, man, how could somebody afford that? That was like $1 million back then in my mind. And I couldn't understand how somebody was able to have that car. You know, I was at the time 19, 20. And then I said to myself, at some point you're gonna get that car, but right now you gotta double down, you gotta work really hard, and as a result of your work, you'll be able to get the things that you want. And so many people today, they just go get the things that they want. They worry about the work later, and it definitely doesn't work like that. It never will work like that, no matter what internet marketers tell you. Okay, so just remember that you have to work, you have to get gritty, you have to get dirty, you have to really get in there and attack what it is that you want. And that's how you get to the places you want to go. Now, that story about the BMW was really interesting, because every day I'd walk by it, I'd look at it, and I'd almost fall in love with it, right? And then years later, my first car, once I started working with the Yankees, was a BMW. So it was pretty cool to see. And I said, well, I asked myself, I remember when I signed the paperwork for the car, I said, well, first I was a nervous wreck, because I hadn't really ever had anything but clunkers. And I said to myself, you remember that car that you were looking at? Your visualization of that, your sort of manifesting of that made that happen. But what really made it happen was the work and the steps that you took, and all those free things that you did where you're just sort of putting yourself out there. I made it happen, and I was always making sure that I was moving towards my passion. And when you move towards your passion and you move towards the things that are in your gut, that are intuitively within you, instinctually within you, and in your heart, man, you're going to go places that you've never imagined. So I want to, again, recap what got this whole conversation started today. And it comes from my book, Habits of a Champion. Passion drives results, then results drive more passion. The power of momentum is critical in both sports and business. As a champion leader, it's your job to create momentum through mini victories. A roaring blaze can begin by igniting even a morsel of your passion. And that's my message for you tonight. Do something every day that just gets you a little bit closer to where it is that you want to go. Just take action. If you want to write a book, literally open up Word or open up Pages and start writing. It doesn't have to look great. It doesn't have to be perfect. If that's what you want to do. If you want to work somewhere, if there's a certain career path that you want, offer yourself. Work for free. Do whatever it takes. Show that you're a bulldog. Do the things that other people are not willing to do. And when you do that, everything will change for you. But you cannot sort of outthink or think your way out of being stuck. And a lot of people try to do that. And believe it or not, there's also a lot of people in this game of personal development that you have to watch out for, because they're sort of selling you these strategies, and I'm sort of giving you the strategy. The strategy is this: take action, like Jay Baitler said in our notes here. Don't be afraid to fail. Those mini failures, if you will, those are just lessons that you're going to be able to use later in life. And I can't tell you how many times I feel like I crashed up against the rocks, came back and said, man, I'm glad I crashed against the rocks, because if I would have kept going, I wouldn't have made it. So the rocks were a good thing. But don't over navigate your ship. Stay strong, stay focused on where you want to go, and realize that you can't think your way to your final destination, right? You could only follow your gut, you could follow your heart, instincts, intuition. And when you do that, honestly, you can't do anything really wrong, because you're following what you're supposed to be doing. All right? So that's my lesson for you tonight, and I hope you enjoy it. And for those of you that don't know, I do a daily blog. You can go to danacavalea.com and sign up for that. There's, I think in the top, you can see blog, or at the bottom of the page, and you can read all those entries. So Monday through Friday, I write that, just something positive, encouraging. It takes about 60 to 90 seconds to read, and if you sign up, it comes right to your inbox. And that's really all I have for you tonight. So I hope you enjoy. Hope you guys have a great night, great evening. Relax a little bit, enjoy this time, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. All right? Have a great night.